bounce on it. Yo, shout out Bill Skarsgård. Nosferatu was actually a good movie. Hey guys, what is up? It is your host, Jim John. I know it's been a couple days since we've done one of these podcasts, but I'm excited to be back and posting this video for you guys. Bill Skarsgård was awesome in Nosferatu. I gotta fix my undies real quick. Bill Skarsgård was. Wait. Oops. Okay, we're actually gonna try to be more towards the middle, so we're gonna be right here. But eventually, when we get somebody on the podcast, it'll be nice because they could literally sit right here, and there'll be two of us talking. For now, it's literally just me. But what was I saying? I'm not wearing socks right now. I took my socks off. I got home from work and the gym and doing cardio, and I was like, you know what? I need to record a video, but I don't want to do it with my my socks off. So I was like, okay, just throw on some shoes real quick and record this podcast. I'm very uncomfortable, by the way. This feels very gross. But I saw Nosferatu in theaters, and I actually thought it was a really good movie. There are a couple of things that I really liked about it. Number one, the cinematography was awesome. I haven't seen a movie that was that captivating in terms of like how they filmed the scenes, like very gothic horror-esque movie. Which it's funny calling it a horror movie because it wasn't scary, but it was just a great movie. I mean, obviously there are some flaws, like there just felt like parts or like tidbits just kind of happened. Like if this is, I mean, if you're gonna watch the movie, don't watch this next part. But when the main character, I think his name is James or something like that. I don't know. The main character um, is seemingly bitten by Nosferatu in his big old castle. He just kind of jumps on a horse and gets healed magically, and he's off to save. Is it Emily Blunt? Is that who's playing the girl in the movie? I don't know. Who I if I knew her name, my girlfriend would probably beat me. Um, One thing I did want to say about Nosferatu, it is a freaky movie. That movie is freaky beyond belief. Now I'm talking like I got high testosterone, okay? But like the type of timing these people were on, oh, it felt like I was watching a Diddy Party movie at some points. I was like, yo, these guys are wild. And like if you've seen the scene where it's the husband and the wife in the bedroom, right? Now it already sounds like it's getting dirty. But like Nosferatu is like whispering. He's like a presence, you don't see him physically there, but it's like his voice or whatever. I don't know. It's like possessing her, and she just gets into this demon voice, and she's like, "You'll never please me like he does," like something crazy. And then this guy, the husband, decides to pull a Will Smith, and he gets bricked. It was crazy. I was like, brother, what? He throws his girl in the bed, and he just goes to Pound Town. It was so crazy. Now, if any of my siblings are watching this podcast, they're probably like, what the heck? John never talks like this. And I don't usually talk like this. I do. And actually, they know this. They know. I tell my brother all the time. I can't quote what I tell my brother because. But, but anyways, it was crazy. And honestly, like, who else? Actually, who else is in that realm? There's like another actor where that's something that they're into. It's like watching their wife or like Will Smith wasn't the right person, I don't think. But Will Smith and the Jada Pinkett Smith, no man, it's all bad. I can't think of the celebrity, so we're just gonna go ahead and pretend like the mic was on. Okay, like I didn't say that, and just we're gonna skip past that part. Well, anyways, that's Nosferatu. I guess that was super random. Today's podcast, we're just gonna be yapping. I think the thing that I want to get into the most is I know the year just started and a couple of us have already failed. For example, I had some Trader Joe cookies with my girlfriend, and I Nosferatu them. Went to Pound Town straight, you know, like told them cookies, you'll never please me like Oreos, and the cookies actually proved me right. They were not good. It's not my girlfriend's fault because she's the one who made that. It's not my girlfriend's fault because she's the one who's. It's not my girlfriend's fault. She made them perfectly. I just don't like the Trader Joe's mix. I don't even know what I would like describe it as. It was just it was supposed to be like an everything cookie, so there was even salted pretzels in it, and I just not a fan. Just not something that I'm really into. Also crumble cookie. That is what the lineup they released on the beginning of the year. My goodness, it took everything that I had to not go to crumble cookie. Crazy. The tres leches, the tres leches Oreo cookie cake. Crazy. Omar's probably watching this. He's like, "Oh, here he goes. That's crazy. This crazy. You know what's crazy? But you got pulled over by the police, and he said, "Yo, everything's being recorded." Aha, that's a freaky cop. Kennewick PD, freaky. I got a homie. Well, no, he's not. Anyways, KPD. KPD is they getting freaky. They said, Omar, it's either ticket, you either click it, ticket, or zip it. And they don't mean zip up, they mean zip down. So, goodness gracious. I don't know what that tidbit was about. But anyways, about the new year. I know a lot of people are struggling with this new year, and just some advice, really, how to handle the new year, because 2025 has actually gone pretty smooth for me so far. I've built a lot of better habits. I've actually been consistent besides the Trader Joe cookies, um, and we've had really good days. Like today, we've had a really good day in terms of eating, and I think the key point or the thing to focus on is not the moment. Now, I know that might sound a little bit confusing, but what I mean by that is life is so hard. Life is so complicated. Everybody watching this video has had some BS happen to them today. And, their mentality is either, this sucks. I'm going to dwell on this the rest of the day. Or it's, you know what? It is what it is. A couple people come to mind that think like that, that I know personally that, something happens to them. More than likely, they're not going to let it affect their day. And that same mentality applies to like when you're getting the hunger pains or you're too full from eating. One thing that I see in a lot of people is that when the going gets tough, is the saying, that's when you really start to see someone's character. That's when people quit. But in reality, if you're cutting and you're hitting a wall, you should be excited. And I know that sounds a little crazy, and I think I've said crazy like at least 5 times. So we're gonna have a crazy meter right here. But you should be excited because, like, say you're in a caloric deficit. You're cutting. The going's getting tough. You're like, man, these hunger pains are starting to really get to me. I've been on this cut. Yeah, I'm cutting down, but right now I'm let's say just struggling with the food. That should excite you to expand your palate. Chicken and rice, you want to spend 300-400 calories on rice. Potatoes are lower calorie. Seasonings are pretty low. Like, experiment. I'm not saying enjoy suffering. Don't starve yourself either. Okay, like, track your calories and make sure you're eating your make sure you're eating your protein. But use that as the opportunity, because the opportunity is presenting itself for you to overcome adversity and really expand your palate. I mean, at the end of the day, like, let's say you're bulking. So anyone who's out there bulking right now and they're like, "Oh, I'm just constantly stuffed. I can't eat any more food. I'm only at 2,600 calories at the day." Crazy. Someone's probably complaining about that. Um, and you got to remember, bulking is it's an everyday thing. You can't just decide to not bulk one day, But really take advantage of those calories. Like, a lot of people complain about when they're bulking, they get full too fast, or they don't eat enough, they don't get enough food in, or whatever the case is. And then the same typical things. Well, are you doing cardio? Are you lifting? Are you trying to? Are you strength training? Are you hypertrophy? Like what are we doing? Because a lot of things that I notice in anyone who's bulking is that they're not getting their steps in. They're eating way too late into the day, and it's like if you break it down, you're bulking. You wake up at 9 a.m., go to work at 10. You work from 10 to 5. You get one meal in during your lunch. Like say you go to Pan Express. What, 400 calories in fried rice? We'll say like 1,300 calories. We'll be generous. 1,300 calories, something like that. You get Pan Express for lunch. Then you get home for dinner. You get home. Let's say you go to the gym, all that. You get home. Let's say you have a protein shake. We'll give you another 250 calories, and we're being generous. So 1,550, and then you have chicken and rice. We're hitting the 2,300 calorie mark. Brother, that's a caloric deficit. We got to experiment. You got to take advantage of the time that you have. If you're doing cardio, you're getting rid of your glycogen storages, and guess what? You're going to want to replenish those things. If you're waking up at 9 a.m., wake up at 7. Eat some. I mean, you're on a bulk. I'm not going to say eat some frosted flakes, but dang it, eat something. Add some protein. Eat some eggs. Eat is my point. And if you're in a caloric deficit, time your food if you need to. If it's really that important to you, time your food. For example, today, I am in a deficit right now. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, went to work, and I didn't eat till 9. And that food has to hold me over. So I did chicken and rice. I did 170 calories worth of white rice, and then I did 8 ounces of Costco rotisserie chicken. So already there, we're getting a decent amount of carbs in, and we're also staying high in protein with that rotisserie chicken. Now that's got to hold me over until I get home. Like I just got home right now. What are some other choices that I can make and keep myself under a certain calories? Because I'm cutting aggressive, and I won't say my calories because if I say it, someone's going to be motivated or try it, and that's a terrible idea. But actually, you'll probably be able to do the math if you're smart. So then I had some Quest chips with it, 140 calories, 21, 22 grams of protein. And then I also had a Fit and Fat cheesecake yogurt, 80 calories. And then last but not least, I had some beef jerky. I just got home right now. And guess what? I'm starving because I just worked out as well. And I did 30 minutes on the Stairmaster. My glycogen, my food, like I'm hungry. So I decided, okay, I'm going to have a low calorie wrap. So I did a mission tortilla, I did some lettuce, a little bit of mayo, and turkey. Low calorie, and that's got to hold me over till dinner. Which honestly, we're recording this podcast right now, so I'm being chilling. I'm making ground beef tacos tonight, or ground beef burritos. I'm very excited for that. Um, But just making smart choices, staying high in protein. If you noticed through my meals that I just listed, a good amount of them are high in protein. The Greek yogurt, low calorie, high in protein. Beef jerky, a great alternative to chips. Is it expensive? Yes. But if you're able to afford it, do it. Rotisserie chicken as well, and then turkey in our wrap, pretty dang good. So like with the new year, I just gave two examples. Take advantage of your situation and break down what it is that you want. Our goals in life are all different. My goals are different from one of my best friends. He wants to work. He's got a kid. He's got to provide. And then my other best friend, got no kid. He got a dog, and he got a girl, and he's trying to provide as well for all of them. But one works out and one plays basketball. So it's like you gotta figure out what it is that you want in life and prioritize that and build a system around you that's gonna help you win. The problem with a lot of people is that they're in these systems that don't allow them to succeed. And when you get to a certain point, you got to realize, my goodness, I have to be the system. Now I'm gonna try to go back to that first thought that I had, but key thing here is I'll give you a story actually. So when I decided enough was enough and I wanted to lose weight, I was living at home still with my parents. Now, one thing that any one of my friends will tell you, or anyone that knows my mom, is that woman knows how to whip it. Like, woo wee! Jeez Louise, she knows how to cook. And that is not an exaggeration. I my mom has had so many people beg her to make rice, an astronomically amount of people like, can you please make this Spanish rice? Can you please make beans? Can you please make this, that, patty whack, all that? You know what I'm saying? Let's get fat. Bars. Shout out Jello. And it's and she knows how to cook, man. So I decided, you know what? I love my mother. I love my mom. I'm a mama's boy. I'm also a daddy's boy. Pause. But I love my parents, and they're both great. And my mom, she just knows how to make food, man. Like my girl, for example, there were so many Mexican foods that she did not like that when my mom made them, she was like, "Woo wee!" Mrs. Jim John, or not Mrs. Jim John, because that'd be my girl. Oh my goodness. John's mom knows how to whip it for real, for real. Like my mom, honestly, should have her own restaurant, but she already has a business that she does, and she's great. But the tamales, el pozole. Let's talk about flautas. Even flautas. They're fried. They're deep fried in canola oil or vegetable oil, avocado oil, whatever kind of oil you want, except for the one America wants. Definitely not a good choice. Uh, keep saying too. I'm trying to get out of that habit. I promise. But key point being, my mom knows how to make food, and I had to have that conversation with her. Like, Mom, I love you. Okay, you're great, and your food is amazing. But no offense, I can't eat your food. I decided, okay, I may be in this system right now at home where I'm trying to lose weight, but I know that eating that food in the system is not going to help. I have to make my own system, and that system has to be sustainable. There's a and I said again. There's a couple different things with that. So when you're making your own system, you got to keep in mind your partner. You got to keep in mind where you're at. You got to keep in mind, do I live with my parents? Where am I? Because this system has to be sustainable forever. And one of the things that I've experienced personally is that sometimes you have to rebuild the system. Same principles, but you got to approach it a different way. So when I left my parents' house, I struggled a lot with my mental health. And to this day, one thing that I do and that I've been trying to be better at is when I get very emotional or when I get really, really stressed or something is just like irking me, I want to eat. That is my natural response to stress. And it's, sometimes stress will make me so mad. I'm not even hungry no more. And for the most part, I don't get angry. I don't get mad. I don't get stressed. But being away from a support system, um, and then, sorry, I had something in my mouth. And then being on your own and trying to provide and do all those things, that can take a toll on somebody. And if your system isn't strong, you're going to go back to the old system, which is binge eating, which is eating based off emotions, which is just being unhealthy. And that's the thing with, um, to wrap it all up, with the New Year's, really, really try to build your system that you'll be able to sustain. I know that where I'm at now, like mentally and physically, as far as mentally, I like where I'm at, but physically, I don't like where I'm at, and I want to get better. I'm rebuilding my system, and I'm trying to make it sustainable. Um, I've said so many times, I'm gonna just genuinely. Anyways, that system, you know, let me take what led me to get here. Okay, let's break it down. I got really sick and I got stressed out. They don't want me to work out. They don't want me to push myself. They want me to just give my heart a chance to rest. I, for the life of me, can't do that. I just can't. The stress and anxiety is just too much for me. And that's something that I've been combating and getting better at. And I've slowly gotten back into the gym, into the groove of things, doing my cardio again. My heart doesn't feel weird. I feel like, okay, this I can actually attempt to try to come back a little bit. Because that was the biggest thing. When I got sick, I lost everything. I lost my strength, I lost my endurance, I lost my just even like motivation to be in the gym. I was so dependent on stimulants that this is the old system too that we're talking about. I was dependent on the caffeine. I was dependent on pump and whatever just to get me through into the next day and the next day and the next. And that's not good. Now I didn't have a caffeine overdose. That's not what happened to me. This is a pre-existing condition that, like looking back, I'm like, no, duh. I've always felt this, you know, and I just didn't know what it was. I always thought, oh, my cardio just sucks. I need to keep running more. No, something's just wrong with your heart. You got to figure that out. So that's kind of funny, but I digress. If you know what I almost just did right now. But seeing that cycle and like not, they're telling me don't go to the gym as often. Take it slow. Take your recovery seriously. Like take your medicine. There's days where I felt really, really sick, and like that just did a lot on my mental health. It's to going from someone who depends on the gym for mental health and as well as physical health and just overall health. It is so hard to take that away from me because that's what I depend on. I depend on being able to go to the gym and work out. And I realize, like, okay, if I can't go to the gym, then what am I? Who am I? That is a very hard question to ask yourself. But I look at that system and I go, okay, it's not sustainable. This isn't working. Let's build a new system. This system's going to be based upon me and my situation now. And that's what I'm trying to say overall. With your New Year's resolutions, with your goals this year, take your situation into account and build a system around it. If you're just trying to lose weight or gain weight and you're just kind of like, oh, I know the basic principles somewhat and I'll try that out. Don't do that. You're not building a system. In order to build a system, you have to do your proper research. You also have to experiment. So do all of those things. Don't be afraid to fail. Hey, if you're thinking you're in a caloric deficit, but you're actually going up in weight, rebuild the system. Figure it out. Figure out what went wrong, break it down, get back to it. Don't let yourself keep falling into the cycle of it didn't work out. I'll try again next week or blah, 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 blah. You end up in this cycle where it's like, damn, now I'm on my 600-pound life, and you're butt booty naked on the TV screen, and it doesn't even matter because no one can see nothing. You can't see nothing because your fupa's overlapping everything. Don't be that. Don't be that person that ends up on my 600-pound life, and at the end they go, Todd went into cardiac arrest. That's not a life to live. That's not something that you should want or that you should be headed towards. You should be headed towards a life that's fulfilling for you, a life that allows you to be free, a life that you want. Don't live your life for anybody else. Don't live your life in fear of what other people are going to think. I've struggled with that forever. And I see it in people. I literally see it in people. I'll be walking in the store and or I'll be at the gym and I'm like, that person is, they probably didn't have a choice in the way they were raised or what they're doing or like the people that they're hanging out around with, and that sucks. That's a real reality. A lot of people end up in situations that they're looking back, they wish they never were, and you see it a lot. There's a lot of kids with great potential that end up in bad environments, whether it's gang violence or it's just people who are stupid and lazy. Like you end up becoming the people that you associate with. So choose your friends wisely. But back to this whole New Year's thing, building a system is super important. And I mean, if you need help building a system, I would say TikTok's great, but they're shutting it down, which is stupid within itself. Thanks a lot, US government. And it's funny that they want to extend the ban, like, or prolong it, the TikTok getting banned, because they realized, wow, people are actually moving to Rednote, a Chinese owned app. Like, they're just moving from TikTok to another one because they realized, bro, nobody wants to use Facebook. Instagram honestly sucks. I do not like Mark Zuckerberg, and I do not like the fact that the US government is so hypocritical. They go, hey, you should not be letting anybody use your data or sell it, blah, blah, blah. But the world's biggest data leak, US, the US. How ironic is that? Instagram, Meta, Zuckerberg, X, data leaks. Isn't that interesting? Really makes you think, especially with the people that Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are associated with. Really makes you think like, what is, like, is it that they want to um help the American people, or is it rather they want to be the ones in control of the American people? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. How come in a country with free speech, we're not even allowed to exhibit that free speech on a social media app? The US government sees that and says, no, 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 no. That app we do not like. That is Flappy Bird 2.0. We're going to boot it. I don't think any government should have that kind of power on somebody, especially on an app. Like, you want to talk about apps? Let's talk about X real quick. Let's talk about Elon Musk's app. I find it very interesting that uh, I don't know if Elon himself, I haven't seen anything, so I can't say that Elon himself has been critical, but that we talk about there being these other apps like X, Twitter, um, Facebook, Instagram. You know what the most interesting thing uh, about these apps, right? Because we want to complain about TikTok selling our data and the Communist Party. Oh no, the Red Scare. Let's talk about the fact that Elon Musk, call it how it is, his Twitter app is basically just pornography. I'm calling it how it is. I remember my final straw was when I went on a LeBron James post and I saw LeBalls instead. I was like, all right, this app is not for me. I'm done. And the fact that it's not even getting filtered out and that there's almost like a push of this crap on social media, it's disgusting. At least when I go on TikTok, it's my own algorithm, and whatever I see is something that I like. And I don't think that's fair to take that away from us because Facebook's algorithm sucks. You got a bunch of idiots on there that don't do their research on anything. You know how many Karens have said diet soda will literally give you cancer, or that creatine will cause your liver to fail? Creatine, the substance with 100 years of studies. Creatine. And it's funny because it's always a 400-pound Macbeth saying that. "Oh, creatine's really bad for you. It'll kill your liver." Macbeth, you've killed your own liver with all the trans fats you're eating. I don't know how this podcast got so like uh freaking like toxic. Oh my goodness. I'm going on this whole rant. Let's switch to something positive though. Let's talk about Jim John and how things have been going. I think actually I've done a pretty good. We already went through this. I already done a pretty good job, but my goal this year is to put out more podcasts and obviously get guests on here. David, Pablo, who else? Edgar. Actually, Edgar actually wants to be on the podcast. I need to put him on here. That'd be great to talk to him. Andre, we need to get Andre on here and just talk. It's just a fun time. Now we're not sponsored by anybody. This is just a clear American white grape. Really, my lips were a little too dry on that. White grape. There we go. Like that sounded funny. My cat Lulu. Oh my goodness. My girlfriend's home. She doesn't even know that we're literally in the middle of a podcast. But what was I saying? Special guest? Is this a crossover episode? Come sit down. This is our first guest of 2025. I was going to say 2024. Guys, this is BoJack Horseman. Welcome to the Mr. Peanut Butter Show. Sit down, sit down. Okay. Gabriel, when was it that you first realized that you abandoned Kitty? And why did you then decide, let's abandon Mocha? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm just joking. Honest opinion though, 1 through 10. How much did you like those Trader Joe cookies?
7.
Now I already told them that the cookies came out perfect. Like the bottom was crispy, it was soft. It's just the Trader Joe's mix was poo poo caca.
It wasn't that bad. It was just the salt that was throwing it off. And I also used salted butter.
For real?
Yeah.
I was gonna say those cookies were mad salty.
I'm never baking for you again.
All right, it's a little too much.
You want to see what I got?
Sure, we're gonna be doing an unboxing here on the channel.
Okay. Let me put my phone out. So this, guess how much this was?
Is that the one that was $6 you told me about?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Is, right?
Yo, Threshold. Shout out Target, sponsored. Wait, what is that? Oh, wait, it's a. Oh, because you hate the ones that I bought, right?
So we have variety for when we feel different moods. But this is cute, and then we have a new rug since we had to throw our other one away because our cats ruined it. I got us new toothbrushes because you used mine. That was really nasty, by the way.
I also just
that you brush your tongue and you like gag all over it, and I just
bounce on it. That's my Nosferatu impression.
I got them new cat. Oh, why am I showing you? I got them new cat clippers, and then I got us more toothpaste because. And then this is for our utensils. This is usually $15, but it was on sale for $5.
That's cheaper than the white one from Walmart.
Feel it. It's super cute. It would go good to put our wood utensils in.
Oh my gosh, this is. Oh.
And then they didn't have the emerald gold one or the emerald green, but I got this because I really wanted it and I figured it would go good with this. So maybe it was just a blessing in disguise that I didn't get the other one. Yeah.
And that's unboxing with Goopy. Shout out KJ.
All of this was only $26, and this is usually $25. So basically, like all of this was free because of this one item.
Girl math is crazy. The craziest thing I've ever experienced is girl math, 100%. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and give you your stuff and get you up on out of here, pal. See you later. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it. But the people are here for me. We'll have your podcast day.
I have a feeling you're just gonna edit this out.
Why would I edit this out? This is perfect. You look beautiful. Guys, you would not know that we were mad at each other earlier today.
Are we still not mad at each other?
Are you mad at me still?
A little.
Nah, you're not. You love me. You had a huge smile when you came in.
Yeah, just because I'm mad at you doesn't mean that I don't love you.
See, guys, and that's exactly why we're gonna get married.
In like 5 years, because this man doesn't want to propose to me.
The biggest cap I've ever heard in my life.
That's literally what you said.
Nah.
Look at your daughter right now. I just love that.
Lulu. All right. But I was talking about. Oh, you know what? Okay, something that I didn't want to talk about. I just started watching this new show called Severance. This is probably going to be the last little tidbit. Oh no, 2 shows. Alice in Borderland. I started watching Alice in Borderland. Really good show. Finished the 2 seasons already. The ending to it was so good. I honestly enamored. That's the word I'm going to use for both these shows. But Alice in Borderland was great. The overall premise is that I can't say that because that's actually a spoiler. But 3 friends almost get hit by a car where they're crossing the road. And this is on Netflix, by the way. And they go into a train station trying to like run away. They're just being goofy, having fun. When all of a sudden, what happened? Oh, like they like peek out to see if anyone was chasing them because they were jaywalking pretty much, and there was like police there. Come out, realize there's nobody left. There's like the streets are barren, not a single soul. Um, and from that point, like they have to play games to survive. And like if you play or you need to play a game, so pretty much everybody has what's called visas. And the games that you play dictate how many days you have left in like this world or like whatever like the place is supposed to be, because it's they're literally in the same place, like nothing has changed, it's just nobody's there. Anyways, really good premise, awesome show. Episode 3 will shock you. It is That's where I got hooked, was episode 3. Another show that I started watching is called Severance, and Severance is really good. It is super trippy. I started it just barely today. I'm on episode 3 already, and season 2 comes out this Friday. Heck yeah! So Severance, give you a quick synopsis. So that's what I'm gonna do for both these shows. So in Severance, the idea is this company called Lumen decides to create a procedure to create like a better work-life balance. So it's like answering the question of, hey, if you could have a clone go to work and you don't ever have to work again, would you do it? Pretty much that kind of question. And we follow the main character named Mark, and like his like you can kind of, you might be able to see a little bit like where it's going and like the adventure Mark goes on, but it is such a great show. Like it feels like I'm watching like The Matrix. I've actually never seen The Matrix. Sue me. Um, Such a good show. I highly recommend it. I think the fact that it's a thriller, there's also a little bit of like comedy. It's super like it's just well timed. Every episode's an hour. You could watch on Apple TV. You could get 3 months free, I'm pretty sure, on Apple TV right now, and you can watch the whole first season and probably the season 2. But what really got me is just like the it's sci-fi, right? But it's not sci-fi like floating cars and all that. It's like, oh, it would take place in modern times. And then it's like, I don't know, it's just a very good show, and I just highly recommend it. I think it's really good. I've been watching both of them while I do cardio. So I already finished Alice in Borderland, and I'm gonna start another show. I think it's like 8. It's called 8 or something like that on Netflix. And I've been watching Severance on the treadmill too. I watched like an episode. Hopefully you guys don't hear that too much, but just both really good shows. And I can't stop thinking about dinner right now. We're gonna be having ground beef. Oh, we already talked ground beef tacos. It's gonna be great. Yeah, today's been a really good day, just overall. I can't really think of what else to really talk about. What else is going on in the world, or any topics that I can mention? The only other thing I can think about is like Jeff Teague and them, their podcast. The 520 podcast gets me through the day, 100%. They are the funniest podcast, and I'm hooked on them. That and Shannon and Ocho, that whole scandal is crazy. Not with them, but like the Joy Taylor thing. But both podcasts are just awesome. I love I reference the 520 Club all the time. I'm always like, anytime I call one of my friends, I'm like, "Yo, what's good, Nasty?" And they're always like, "Chillin', Nasty." It's just it's a good time. It's a good time, bro. Such a good time. But yeah, I think we've had a really good conversation today. We talked about resolutions, our plans, as well as what shows we like. We got a little interview with Mrs. Jim John. I think the thing that I want to focus on the most this week, set the intentions for the week. Actually, we're gonna end off today's episode with our intentions this week. Our intentions is to come back into the next podcast episode and update you guys on how much weight we've lost and how things are going and how we're feeling. Another intention I'm gonna set is to upload another video by Friday. So Friday, you guys are getting another podcast episode. So you guys are a little spoiled. And I'm going to set an intention to actually have somebody come on, because gosh dang it, I'm tired of just talking to myself. This is the 3rd episode. We should have had 3 guests by now. But it is what it is. Life happens. That's 3 intentions. Stay in a deficit, upload on Friday, and get a guest on the show. Apart from that, just continue to live a good life. Treat people with respect and kindness. That's not even an intention for the week. That's just for life. Bars. But with that, that pretty much ends today's episode. I really enjoyed sitting here talking with you guys. Like I just it makes me really happy doing this, and I still think that I might be schizophrenic just a little bit, because how the heck does someone just do this? I don't know. I don't know how I do it, but I love it, and I love you guys. So I hope everybody has a great day. Remember to eat your protein, love yourself, love somebody, and mass Vexbolt unfollowing because of what they did to what the heck's that guy's what's that guy's Cookie King? I don't know. Anyways, I love you guys. Eat your protein. Jim John out. Peace. And don't forget to bounce on it. Shout out Nosferatu, Bill Skarsgård.